Language Foundations Vocabulary Flashcards, helping you achieve understanding.
Examine hastily. She scanned the newspaper headlines while waiting for the taxi. Obtain data from magnetic tapes or other digital sources. An image produced by scanning. He analyzed the brain scan. Conform to a metrical pattern. Examine minutely or intensely. The surgeon scanned the X-ray. Make a wide, sweeping search of. The beams scanned the night sky. Move a light beam over, in electronics, to reproduce an image. Read metrically. Scan versus. The act of scanning, systematic examination of a prescribed region. He made a thorough scan of the beach with his binoculars. Examine hastily. Examine hastily. A dissolute man in fashionable society. Scrape gently. Degree of deviation from a horizontal plane. A long-handled tool with a row of teeth at its head, used to move leaves or loosen soil. Gather with a rake. Rake leaves. Level or smooth with a rake. Rake gravel. Move through with or as if with a rake. She raked her fingers through her hair. Sweep the length of. The gunfire raked the coast. Examine hastily. Use up all one's strength and energy and stop working. Injure or kill by knocking someone or something down and passing over the body, as with a vehicle. Trace. Deplete. Move downward. Pursue until captured. Used of milk and milk products from which the cream has been removed. Yogurt made with skim milk. Examine hastily. Read superficially. Reading or glancing through quickly. Move or pass swiftly and lightly over the surface of. Cause to skip over a surface. Travel on the surface of water. Remove from the surface. Skim cream from the surface of milk. A thin layer covering the surface of a liquid. There was a thin skim of oil on the water. Coat, a liquid, with a layer. Have or contain a certain wording or form. The passage reads as follows. Make sense of a language. Can you read Greek? Obtain data from magnetic tapes or other digital sources. This dictionary can be read by the computer. Indicate a certain reading of gauges and instruments. The gauge read, empty. Interpret something in a certain way. Convey a particular meaning or impression. I read this address as a satire. Be a student of a certain subject. She is reading for the bar exam. Audition for a stage role by reading parts of a role. Interpret something that is written or printed. Read the advertisement. Interpret the significance of, as of palms, tea leaves, intestines, the sky, also of human behavior. She read the sky and predicted rain. Look at, interpret, and say out loud something that is written or printed. The king will read the proclamation at noon. Something that is read. The article was a very good read. To hear and understand. I read you loud and clear. An image produced by scanning. Take charge of or deal with. Could you see about lunch? Make sense of. Assign a meaning to. What message do you see in this letter? Go to see a place, as for entertainment. We went to see the Eiffel Tower in the morning. See or watch. This program will be seen all over the world. Get to know or become aware of, usually accidentally. I see that you have been promoted. Date regularly. Have a steady relationship with. Did you know that she is seeing an older man? Find out, learn, or determine with certainty, usually by making an inquiry or other effort. I want to see whether she speaks French. Perceive or be contemporaneous with. You'll see a lot of cheating in this school. Undergo or live through a difficult experience. Be careful or certain to do something. Make certain of something. Come together. I'll probably see you at the meeting. Accompany or escort. I'll see you to the door. Perceive, an idea or situation, mentally. Now I see. Imagine. Conceive of. See in one's mind. I can't see him on horseback. Observe, check out, and look over carefully or inspect. I must see your passport before you can enter the country. Deem to be. I don't see the situation quite as negatively as you do. Deliberate or decide. Let's see, which movie should we see tonight? Go to see for a social visit. I went to see my friend Mary the other day. Go to see for professional or business reasons. You should see a lawyer. Match or meet. Observe as if with an eye. Perceive by sight or have the power to perceive by sight. You have to be a good observer to see all the details. Receive as a specified guest. The doctor will see you now. See and understand, have a good eye. The artist must first learn to see. The seat within a bishop's diocese where his cathedral is located. Put to the test, as for its quality, or give experimental use to. Observe, check out, and look over carefully or inspect. The customs agent examined the baggage. Consider in detail and subject to an analysis in order to discover essential features or meaning. Question or examine thoroughly and closely. Question closely. Make sense of. Assign a meaning to. Make sense of. Assign a meaning to. How do you interpret his behavior? Make sense of a language. Give an interpretation or rendition of. Restate. Words, from one language into another language. Can you interpret the speech of the visiting dignitaries? Create an image or likeness of. Give an interpretation or explanation to. Graphic art consisting of an artistic composition made by applying paints to a surface. His pictures hang in the Louvre. A visual representation, of an object or scene or person or abstraction, produced on a surface. They showed us the pictures of their wedding. A situation treated as an observable object. The political picture is favorable. Show in, or as in, a picture. Illustrations used to decorate or explain a text. The dictionary had many pictures. A form of entertainment that enacts a story by sound and a sequence of images giving the illusion of continuous movement. A graphic or vivid verbal description. Too often the narrative was interrupted by long word pictures. A clear and telling mental image. He described his mental picture of his assailant. Imagine, conceive of, see in one's mind. The visible part of a television transmission. They could still receive the sound, but the picture was gone. A representation of a person or scene in the form of a print or transparent slide or in digital format. A typical example of some state or quality. The very picture of a modern general. A visual representation, of an object or scene or person or abstraction, produced on a surface. A conventional religious painting in oil on a small wooden panel, venerated in the Eastern Church. Computer science. A graphic symbol, usually a simple picture, that denotes a program or a command or a data file or a concept in a graphical user interface. A visual representation, of an object or scene or person or abstraction, produced on a surface. A conventional religious painting in oil on a small wooden panel, venerated in the Eastern Church. An iconic mental representation. Her imagination forced images upon her too awful to contemplate. A visual representation, of an object or scene or person or abstraction, produced on a surface. A movie is a series of images projected so rapidly that the eye integrates them. A representation of a person, especially in the form of sculpture. The emperor's tomb had his image carved in stone. Jungian psychology, a personal facade that one presents to the world. A public image is as fragile as Humpty Dumpty. A standard or typical example. He provided America with an image of the good father. Imagine, conceive of, see in one's mind. Language used in a figurative or non-literal sense. Mathematics. The set of values of the dependent variable for which a function is defined. The image of f, x, equals x squared is the set of all non-negative real numbers if the domain of the function is the set of all real numbers. Someone who closely resembles a famous person, especially an actor. She's the very image of her mother. Render visible, as by means of MRI. The general impression that something, a person or organization or product, presents to the public. Although her popular image was contrived, it served to inspire music and pageantry. Adapt or conform oneself to new or different conditions. Be similar, be in line with. Inquire into. The students had to research the history of the Second World War for their history project. An operation that determines whether one or more of a set of items has a specified property. The activity of looking thoroughly in order to find something or someone. Search or seek. Try to locate or discover, or try to establish the existence of. The police are searching for clues. An investigation seeking answers. A thorough search of the ledgers revealed nothing. Boarding and inspecting a ship on the high seas. Right of search. Subject to a search. The police searched the suspect. The examination of alternative hypotheses. His search for a move that would avoid checkmate was unsuccessful. Cause to move or shift into a new position or place, both in a concrete and in an abstract sense. Take the place of or have precedence over. Terminate the employment of. Discharge from an office or position. Cause to move, usually with force or pressure. The refugees were displaced by the war. Give an incentive for action. This moved me to sacrifice my career. Be in a state of action. Change location. Move, travel, or proceed, also metaphorically. The soldiers moved towards the city in an attempt to take it before night fell. The act of changing location from one place to another. The movement of people from the farms to the cities. Cause to move or shift into a new position or place, both in a concrete and in an abstract sense. The director moved more responsibilities onto his new assistant. Perform an action, or work out or perform an action. We must move quickly. The act of changing your residence or place of business. They say that 3 moves equal 1 fire. Have a turn. Make one's move in a game. Have an emotional or cognitive impact upon. Follow a procedure or take a course. A change of position that does not entail a change of location. Movement as a sign of life. Progress by being changed. Propose formally. In a debate or parliamentary meeting. Arouse sympathy or compassion in. Her fate moved us all. Change residence, affiliation, or place of employment. We moved from Idaho to Nebraska. Dispose of by selling. The chairman of the company told the salesman to move the computers. Game. A player's turn to take some action permitted by the rules of the game. Go or proceed from one point to another. The debate moved from family values to the economy. Live one's life in a specified environment. She moves in certain circles only. Move so as to change position, perform a non-translational motion. He moved his hand slightly to the right. The act of deciding to do something. He didn't make a move to help. Recite in elocution. Render verbally. Recite a poem. Narrate or give a detailed account of. Specify individually. The doctor recited the list of possible side effects of the drug. Repeat aloud from memory. She recited a poem. Recite in elocution. Speak against in an impassioned manner. He declaimed against the wasteful ways of modern society. The act of examining something closely, as for mistakes. A prolonged intense look. A set of questions or exercises evaluating skill or knowledge. The act of giving students or candidates a test, as by questions, to determine what they know or have learned. The act of examining something closely, as for mistakes. A detailed inspection of your conscience, as done daily by Jesuits. Formal systematic questioning. Interpret wrongly. I misread Hamlet all my life. Read or interpret wrongly. He misread the data. A mirror, usually a ladies' dressing mirror. A small refracting telescope. An amphetamine derivative, trade name methadone, used in the form of a crystalline hydrochloride, used as a stimulant to the nervous system and as an appetite suppressant. Enclose with glass. Glass in a porch. A container made of glass for holding liquids while drinking. Become glassy or take on a glass-like appearance. Furnish with glass. Glass the windows. The quantity a glass will hold. A brittle transparent solid with irregular atomic structure. Glassware collectively. She collected old glass. Put in a glass container. Scan, game in the forest, with binoculars. A piece of poetry. A line of metrical text. Literature in metrical form. Compose verses or put into verse. Familiarize through thorough study or experience. She versed herself in Roman archaeology. Literature in metrical form. Literature in metrical form. Any communication resembling poetry in beauty or the evocation of feeling.
Become our student and get access to effective and free educational materials. Subscribe to our YouTube channel to become a part of our growing YouTube community and to learn English effectively.